setup, and I am by my bookshelf, which is basically the same exact setup, almost just at a different angle. I don't know why we didn't start with my bookshelf first. I think it was just because there was more room in this other corner, which we'll probably go back to the old setup when I film with Megan again, which she's in Ohio right now, so can't really film with her. But as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a super exciting video, and that is a review guide to Miss Colleen Hoover books. And I'm so excited to be doing this because I love Colleen Hoover novels so much, or books, whatever you want to call them, because they are wonderful contemporary realistic fiction reads. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with the first one, that first Colleen Hoover novel that I read, and which was actually her latest publishing, and that is November 9th. So I'm going to start with what I rated. This is what I'll do for the rest of them. I'll start with how many stars I rated, basically the synopsis, what I liked about it, and who I recommend it to. So I gave November 9th 4 to 5 stars. I feel like it just wasn't my favorite out of all of them, and I don't know, I felt also like it was missing something, and I kind of went back from 4 and 5 stars. It's more like 4.5 stars, let's say. So the synopsis of this novel is that the two main characters, Fallon and Ben, meet one day on November 9th, and they meet when Fallon is having a lunch date with her father, and Ben kind of steps in, definitely unintentionally and definitely not on purpose. And after this kind of whole thing with Fallon and her dad blows up, Ben and Fallon, I read this a long time ago, so Ben and Fallon go back to Fallon's house, I believe, and they kind of just click from the very start, and they devise this plan to only meet every year on November 9th, and only on November 9th is when they can have contact with each other, and every other day in the year they can't have any contact. No phone calls, no emails, no text messages, nothing. And that's when it kind of gets frustrating for both the characters, because they connect with each other so much. So I really did enjoy November 9th, honestly more than I thought I would, just because I never had read Colleen Hoover novels before, but I knew that they were very well written and that they were something to try, so I definitely did not expect to love November 9th as much as I did, and I really like the dual points of view between the two characters, because that never happens, almost never happens, in at least the contemporary reads that I have read, contemporary books I have read. It just never happens where you get the dual point of view between the boy and the girl. It's normally just the boy, or it's normally just the girl. So it was very nice to have both points of view in one novel. And I really like the way Colleen writes her books as well. It feels comforting, but at the same time very upbeat. Like everything's happening at once, and plot twists are coming everywhere, but I really do like it. Her writing style, of course. And as to who I recommend this to, honestly, anyone who really wants to read it. I mean, I'm not going to stop you if you want to read this and you're not who I said I would recommend this to. Anyone who wants to read any Colleen Hoover novel, totally go for it, but I recommend basically anyone who's over the age of 12, because some things, can happen, and basically anyone who possibly might want to jump into new contemporary novels and possibly break away from fantasy. I feel like her novels are great contemporary read, and or someone who just normally reads contemporaries and wants to try out Colleen Hoover. So that's November 9th. The next one I'm going to talk about is the second one that I read, and that is Confess. I love Confess, possibly a little bit more than I did love November 9th, and I will talk about that in a minute. So I did give Confess 5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I'll explain that in a minute, but for this... Okay, so I distinctly remember talking about the plotline of Confess until my camera cut out, which is so frustrating. So I'm just gonna restart. So for Confess, the synopsis is that a girl named R&Mreads is desperately looking for a job in Dallas, Texas, after she moves away from her friends and family. And one day, while she's looking for a job, she enters an art studio owned by the other main character, Owen Gentry. And that's when a immediate connection forms between the two characters, and that's kind of when everything starts within the story, and it's very, very exciting throughout the whole thing. So, my thoughts on this book are, I absolutely loved it, and the reason why I loved it a little bit more than November 9th is because I felt like it was a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, not more developed, I don't know, I just like the story a little bit more rather than November 9th, and I love the characters, and I love the storyline, and it was just wonderful. So as for who I recommend this to, I obviously recommend it to the readers over the age of 12, which I have been recommending November 9th as well. But seriously, if you want to read it, go ahead and read it. Like, I'm not going to stop you. And people who definitely want something that will tug on your heart, because no, this did not make me cry. I'm not so much of a book crier, but it will tug in your heart. So yeah, that's Confess for you. And the last book that I have in this video for you today is my favorite out of all three. That is Ugly Love, and oh my god, I definitely gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. And this book, now that I am totally contradicting myself, I just gave it, I don't say that I'm a book crier. This book made me sob and sob and sob and sob and sob. Literally at 1 a.m. I sat in my bed just sobbing because it's so sad. So, I'm going to just get into the synopsis. So, there is this girl named Tate Collins, and she is meeting, well, she met this boy, Miles Archer, through her brother, I believe, and, yes, because she is moving into a new apartment with her brother, and that's where, she meets Miles, the other main character in the story, and things don't go exactly like the other two books. Miles is more of a standoffish kind of person, and they don't form an immediate connection. And throughout the story, you have actually 3 points of view, kind of. You have Tate, you have Miles, and then you have Miles' point of view 6 years earlier from the present, and that the other 2 points of view are taking place. And it seriously, if you are a book crier, you will sob more than I did in this story, because it's so heart-wrenching. It's horrible. It's oh my god. So I absolutely love this book. If I could give it 10 stars, I would have. Infinite stars it deserves. It's amazing. It's so sad, and I love the characters. There are a lot of funny lines, and there are a lot of heart-wrenching lines as well, and once again, I love the way Colleen writes. It's amazing. And throughout the story, there's kind of this, not this thing where it's like they made a pact with each other that never ask about the past and don't expect the future. And that's where it gets frustrating for not only the two main characters, but the reader as well. Because it's like, come on! But throughout the story, you definitely see why Miles has asked her. So once again, for recommendations, I definitely recommend this to people who are older than 12 years old, just because elements running through the story. But once again, seriously, if you want to, go ahead and read it. And really, anyone who wants to stop while reading a book, or just wants to read it, because why not? I totally recommend it. And yeah, so that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's really fun to film these kinds of videos, and hopefully you will read at least one of these books after watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. All the books will be linked down below, as well as my links and my ratings for the book as well, and what I recommend. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!